Good evening, everyone. Today we're going to go into the planning process of Moosetown Sustainability Plan. We need this plan to make Moosetown overall more sustainable and resilient to climate change. Through this presentation, we're going to see the importance of public participation in our planning process, the goals, the schedule, stakeholders, an activity to engage these stakeholders, conflicts and management, our outreach strategy, and our conclusion. So before we dive into the specifics of our outreach strategy for Moosetown, it's important to recognize that public participation is important in our community's future. So residents and stakeholders possess invaluable knowledge about social, cultural, economic, and environmental dynamics of our community, and by actively involving them in every step of this process, we can use their local expertise to identify opportunities, challenges, and solutions that are appropriate for Moosetown. It's also important to recognize that the success of our endeavor will hinge on the active involvement of our stakeholders after the planning process. By actively engaging all of them, we will foster a sense of ownership and empowerment. So, what are the goals of our planning process? Our first goal is collaborative engagement. We are trying to reach a level of collaboration on the participation scale as outlined by the IAP2 guidelines, and the goal is to partner with the public in each aspect of the decision-making process from the beginning to the end. And so this includes the development of alternatives and the identification of preferred solutions. Secondly, our planning process needs to prioritize equity and inclusion and engage marginalized community to ensure that we are hearing diverse perspectives. Thirdly, our process will incorporate scientific research, and by relying on evidence-based information, we can develop effective strategies. Fourth, we'll use clear and measurable, achievable goals to guide implementation efforts and track practice along our way. Lastly, the ultimate goal of the planning process is to encourage residents and other stakeholders to take ownership of sustainability initiatives. So now we're going to dive into the planning process diagram, which illustrates the systematic approach that we're going to follow to address these goals. Our first step is idea generation, where we defined our project goals, drew up our list of stakeholders, and reached out to them to gauge involvement. Our second step is organizing the process, which is educational workshops, informing the public of current sustainability initiatives, engaging their knowledge and interest. We still need to form an advisory committee composed of diverse stakeholders. We need to assess current issues relating to sustainability in Moosetown, define the planning process, create a timeline, and confirm basic issues and research successful sustainability plans with the community. Our third step is investigating and understanding the community, so analyzing the root issues of what can be done, and hosting workshops and surveys to get their opinion and develop actionable items within the community and have those visions and goals refined. Our fourth step is to confirm that vision and explore alternatives, so we're going to draft our plan and other potential materials that may come up and conduct a thorough review to ensure alignment with the community, and they will fully be involved with that. And then we're going to finally draft it, and then we're going to have our final plan revisions, get it approved, and finally celebrate all of our involvement and success. So obviously in this process, stakeholders will play a huge role in what happens. Some of these stakeholders include local government agencies, business owners, community organizations, residents, tourism and representatives of the tourism industry, and educational facilities. By harnessing the knowledge and expertise of these diverse stakeholders, we can develop a comprehensive and inclusive sustainability plan. Having identified the key stakeholders involved to gather their knowledge and perspectives on various insights, we're going to ask a lot of questions, but these are our main two. In your opinion, what are the most significant sustainability challenges that Moosetown is facing? And what do you see as the main opportunities for improving sustainability practices in Moosetown? And so to gather these questions, we're going to host a group activity. So this is a big step in our collaboration process, and by doing this session, we aim to identify the challenges, the solutions, and prioritize actionable items for inclusion in the sustainability plan. And here's an outline of how the activity will go. Step 1 is to introduce everybody. Step 2 is to address any potential questions that the stakeholders already have. Step 3 is to brainstorm and discuss the key sustainability challenges that Moosetown is facing. Step 3 is to envision the future of Moosetown, identify desired outcomes for sustainability. For step 5, we're going to group similar ideas together, identify common themes, and prioritize actionable items for our sustainability plan. And then finally, we're going to conclude, answer any questions that are left. And by working together with all of our stakeholders, we can develop a plan that reflects the aspirations and priorities of the entire Moosetown community. And during this, while we're engaging in these productive discussions and brainstorming potential solutions, it's important to acknowledge that we may encounter some challenges along the way. And so some potential conflicts could be different priorities. As we've seen, stakeholders have different priorities when it comes to sustainability. These may be economic growth or environmental conservation or environmental health, but these different priorities can lead to conflicts over where we should put our resources. Another potential source of conflict stems from the partisan divide on environmental issues. Research has shown that individuals' political affiliations can significantly influence their attitudes towards sustainability initiatives. Lastly, implementing sustainability initiatives requires behavioral and some infrastructural changes, which can cause resistance from stakeholders. But by anticipating and addressing these potential conflicts proactively, we can navigate them more effectively and ensure that our efforts are successful in the long run. And so we have to draw from principles and steps outlined by Natbachi, and here are some of the recommendations for addressing and mitigating conflicts. To start, we have issue framing as a strategy, and this begins with a broad exploration of the problem and its potential solutions. And so this aligns with the principle of focusing on issues rather than personalities and facilitating constructive dialogue by addressing multiple viewpoints. Another effective strategy is to follow the structure sequence of discussions, starting with an initial session to set the groundwork, followed by middle discussions to explore arguments and viewpoints, and concluding with a final session to develop actionable plans. Lastly, providing neutral and comprehensive information on sustainability issues, including a range of viewpoints and potential solutions, can help mitigate conflict so stakeholders don't feel like we're pushing them into a corner. By implementing these conflict management recommendations, we can navigate potential conflicts more effectively and foster collaboration among stakeholders in our sustainability planning process. So, in order to get these people to come to our sustainability planning process, we need an outreach strategy. Some of this is focused more towards the beginning or the end of the planning process, but at the beginning we're going to focus on education and awareness building through informational sessions, community meetings, and social media campaigns, and these efforts are going to target all stakeholders. And as we progress, we're going to transition into more interactive engagement methods such as workshops, focus groups, participatory decision-making sessions, and this will provide opportunities for stakeholders to contribute ideas, share concerns, and create solutions for Moosetown. And we're also going to make use of online platforms and surveys to gather feedback, just so we have a wider audience to ensure inclusivity. And special attention will be given to engaging disenfranchised groups such as low-income communities, minority groups like people of color, indigenous communities, and also youth and student organizations. recognizing the barriers that they may face in participating in the planning process. We're going to target some outreach strategies tailored to their needs. So whether this is providing translated materials, offering transportation assistance, or organizing these events in accessible locations, we need to partner with all of our local community and our leaders to build trust in this process. So in reviewing outreach methods, we identified the pros and cons of various approaches and determined that the most effective combination to meet our goals. And so while traditional methods like in-person meetings and flyers are valuable for reaching certain segments of the population, we also recognize the importance of digital platforms and social media for engaging younger audiences and those with limited mobility. So that's why we're also going to be using social media content. Again, to ensure inclusivity and to reach a wider audience, we're going to use social media platforms just because they're accessible and they're an interactive way to engage with residents that may not be able to come to our in-person meetings. And so through social media, we're going to share updates on the planning process, upcoming events, and just opportunities for participation. And by leveraging the viral nature of social media, we're going to amplify our outreach efforts and encourage community members to share information within their networks, extending our personal reach. And so next is going to be an example of our social media side of our outreach strategy. And this example is effective because it strikes a balance between simplicity and visual appeal. It provides clear information about logistics and how to get involved in the planning process, ensuring that stakeholders know the next steps. It's eye-catching, so it will likely grab the attention of those just scrolling through and encourage them to stop and read further. So this is our strategy. You can see here it has all the information needed, and the caption is really personal. It's saying we need your voice to shape our community's climate action plan. And so, again, just by engaging these diverse stakeholders, we aim to create a shared vision of strategies that reflect the collective wants and needs of the community. So Moosetown's path to sustainability is a journey embraced by all, and it is a collaborative effort weaving together diverse threads of our community. Amidst all the challenges that we face, we are finding boundless opportunities to shape a future that preserves the essence of Moosetown while ensuring its vitality for generations to come. At the heart of our planning process beats the drum of equity and inclusion, championing the rights of every member of our community. Again, this is part of our collaboration and dialogue, but we've not only charted a course for the future, but also sown the seeds of ownership and responsibility among all of us, which is great because as we look ahead, we can see our landscape being transformed, and Moosetown will be a thriving town in harmony with nature, guided by the principles of our sustainability plan. And through purposeful action and our collective endeavor, we're going to pave the way for a brighter, more resilient future, setting an example for communities far and wide. Thank you all for coming. I hope you guys understand the importance of public participation in our planning process. Let me know if you have any questions.